Hi, I'm Dave.
And I'm Jennifer. We are a middle-aged couple with a Regal Unlimited subscription and a deep fondness for movie popcorn.
And we are not associated with the Regal Corporation in any way. However, we are benefiting from their largesse today. So this is an interesting one. This is not going to be like our normal reviews because it's not one movie but 7. Every year at our Regal Theater, they do the New York, what?
So, when we moved to this neighborhood,
Yeah.
we moved to Kew Gardens in Queens. There is an independent movie theater in this neighborhood, and they had a Kew Gardens film festival. And it was in its first year. We did not go. And after its first year, it moved to the Regal Cinema in Forest Hills. And it's now called the Festival of Cinema NYC. And every year at the beginning of August, it's like 8 or 9 days. They show short films. They show, feature-length films.
From independent filmmakers is the point.
Yes. From new filmmakers and long-standing independent filmmakers, and we never go. For a number of years, we were confused because we it wasn't 100% obvious how to buy tickets, because you can't buy tickets through the movie theater. You buy the tickets through the
website,
the organizer's website, right? Last year, I was like, this is stupid, right? So last year we couldn't have gone. We were out of town during most of the festival. But I was like, this is stupid. And I ended up following it on Instagram so that I would at least remember before it happened that this thing was happening, right? So we had vaguely talked about it a couple of weeks ago and, whatever. And then yesterday we went to see Naked Gun, and the festival started on August 1st. So there's always a table with information and stuff that you can buy, merch you can buy. There's also always a backdrop for photographs, right? So they do interviews with some of the filmmakers on this little set, and photographs with the filmmakers who come on this little set. And I've seen this before, and I just walk past it, whatever. And this year I'm like, you know what? We should try and go to one of these. It's here. We go to friggin' movies all the goddamn time at this point. Why not just go?
Yeah.
Of course, the one block that was of most interest to you is a horror block that's going to happen when we're out of town. But we decided to go this evening to a block of 7 short films.
Yes.
So.
Yes, and this is, it's something we've been talking about for years, like you said, and just, I went to film school. Jennifer just loves films. So I've seen a lot of student films in my day and acted in a few of them. None you will ever see. Directed one that no one will ever see, and I got a C on it, so yeah, not great.
Learning something new every day. I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's a story I need to hear after this video is over.
Okay. So, anyway, the point is that as film buffs, we felt it behooved us to actually see this. So the thing is, when you only see the big blockbuster films, you are seeing the waves on top of the ocean. You're seeing the bits that catch the light and glint. There is an entire world of cinema out there that happens in these small festivals, that happens, largely unseen by the general public, and which we don't really have any access to because we're not professionals. We're not film professionals or anything like that.
And we choose not to have access to.
Sure.
We're in New York City. We could have access to as much of this as we so chose.
Yeah.
Personally, I have wildly mass market tastes. Yeah. So,
Yeah, which is reflected in most of our film reviews. But we thought we'd take a chance, and we would see some little independent films, and we were quite surprised with how good they were.
I really enjoyed most of these films.
Yeah, they were. All of them had something to recommend them. There was one that wasn't for us at all. but still had, it clearly had some passion and heart in it.
Yeah, and because it's the festival, if the filmmakers are there, then they'll have a Q&A with them afterwards. So there was somebody connected to 5 of the 7 films that we saw in the audience tonight. So there was actually quite a long Q&A afterwards because there were a lot of people to be able to speak.
Yeah.
And that I find, I find, like with that Juliet and Romeo movie that we saw, where it was like the people that were in the movie and were the only people in the theater, and like their joy in it I really enjoyed, even though I didn't enjoy the movie at all. Like, I enjoyed
it had good moments.
I know you feel like it did, but if you did not see this video, you can see us discuss this movie, like, oh my god. But like all of these films, including the one that I did not like, were better than that movie. All 7 of these films were better than that movie. Yes, they were. Yes, they were. I promise you they were. Whatever.
Okay.
The point is, it was that same kind of feeling of like, having the people who were making the movies talk to me about what they're doing will persuade me to enjoy something, even if the movie really isn't to my taste, because I'm interested in people as creatives and a creative process. And you tell me about your creative process, and I'm interested in that, even if the output doesn't actually speak to me.
Right.
But this was also good because for most of these films, the output also spoke to me.
Yeah. So we're going to do a little capsule review of each film. Very, very short, I promise. And we're going to spoil them horribly.
Yes, because
There's not really no way to talk about them without doing
unless
that.
you go see this block of films again on Tuesday afternoon, August 4th.
In Forest Hills, New York. Yes.
You're not going to see these.
Yes,
So.
because these are films that did not get distribution or have not gotten it yet, and so they're unlikely to show up in the Academy Awards shorts collections, etc. Okay, so we start with Backseat Girls.
Yes.
So Backseat Girls, it's a fun film about the power of female friendship. It's about 2 girls who work at a radio station together. They're best friends. They've been best friends since they were little kids. And we get to see the story of their friendship, both with them as like 10-year-olds, and then as 20-somethings. When they are just starting to doubt whether they've made the right choices in life. And the fascinating thing about this movie is that it was intercut with actual documentary footage of the filmmakers interviewing 10-year-old girls and then college-age adults.
Yeah, because this is a film that they made in their last year of college.
Right. So and they are interviewing them about what they wanted to be when they grew up, and then also the 10-year-old girls, what they want to be when they grow up, and also about friendship and what it's like to have a good friend. And it was very touching.
Yeah. It's very emotional.
It's not the deepest story or the most complex thing, but it was beautiful. And it had a totally unearned Martin Luther King Jr. quote as an epigram, but
as one does,
swing for the fences, and it was just very, very touching.
Yeah, it's about the power of female friendship, but
that's a car backfiring. It's not gunshots.
Cars don't backfire anymore.
That one just did.
Okay,
it was a motorcycle, maybe.
But about the power of human connection as well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the only 2 speaking characters that you see in the story, in the narrative part of it, are these 2 women, but they host a radio show, and part of what they are doing in the radio show is asking people to call in. And so there's this one guy who calls in a couple of times who reminds them that people are connected to them through this radio show, as well as them being connected to each other. And that is also like an important part of the message. And so yeah, it's beautiful because it's a beach town that they live in. The little girls meet on the beach. The adult women, hang out on the beach sometimes. and it's very nice and sweet and emotional and beautiful.
Indeed. Okay, next film.
Next film is Quinn.
Quinn, yes.
Which was the first one in the set. And another thing about this this festival is they're not particularly concerned about the type of film. So this is a music video. So it's very short, right? It's probably 3.5 minutes or whatever. Right. And it's a music video for a song that, and the music video is very narrative, and the song is very narrative. And it's basically the Joker and Harley Quinn, right?
Yes.
And they are delusional clowns. Delusional clowns. They find each other. They connect to each other. They blow up New York. They get arrested for blowing up New York. They get executed. There's, you see the world through their demented kind of perspective. The end, right?
Yep.
So it's fairly simple, and it's so very clearly Joker and Harley Quinn. Like it's too close to its inspiration. Fiction. It's more like fan fiction than its own piece.
So this is the one that was not for us. I will say, listening to the filmmakers talking about it afterwards, and how much work went into this, and getting there's a scene where the Harley Quinn character gets thrown down on the ground by the cops and has her face ground into the dirt, and she talked about having to work through that with a splitting headache and agonizing pain, and still being able to laugh through the whole thing, because her character is crazy, whatever. That it was just oh, that makes me appreciate this a little more.
Yes, I agree.
All right, moving on. So next, let's talk about More Dead Than Living.
Okay.
So the next film was More Dead Than Living.
Yes.
And this is a story about an elderly Chinese man visiting a grave site when he is visited by death.
Yes.
And death tells him that death is coming for his life, and Death
doesn't tell him that directly, but he infers,
and which he interprets as that death is coming for him. He then goes to his daughter,
his adult daughter,
adult daughter, who has a daughter of her own, who's 3 and very cute. And he says, "If I'm going to die, I want to do mushrooms before I die." So the two of them get super high in Flushing Meadows,
do mushrooms,
Florida Park,
and go to dim sum.
Yes, and hang out in front of the Unisphere in Queens. So this is very much a Queens movie.
Yeah.
And
dude lives in Flushing, the show Roosevelt in Maine, downtown
and
Flushing.
Big twist, death wasn't coming for him, it was coming for the daughter. She chokes on dim sum and dies while they're having their moment of reconnection. And at least he got to say...
A first connection, because,
sure.
He is a traditional, distant man.
Well, he's also just a huge curmudgeon.
He's a huge curmudgeon, but he's also, distant, is never going to say, I love you, I'm proud of you, not have any emotional connection to this daughter. You see him, there's a neighbor woman who's his own age who comes to his apartment, tries to feed him, connect him to the world, and he just brushes her off and is get out of here.
So This is the big twist, is it's actually the daughter who dies. And he uses that as a moment to kind of come back to life. And next time he sees Death, and Death tries to be I'm sorry, I took your daughter, he just beats the shit out.
Right. Well, the daughter tells him that he should fight death rather than accept
it. And so he does.
And he does. But, before that, you see a moment where the granddaughter is in his apartment.
Mm-hmm.
He's in the apartment, unable to speak to the granddaughter.
Right.
Right? The wife, not the wife, but the, neighbor woman who's his age figure comes, has brought him food and then is do you need anything else? And he asks her now to stay, which to me clearly is, please stay so that you can be, the emotional caretaker of this child that I can't take any better care of than I was able to take care of my own child. But the thing he is able to do is to literally beat death up in a cemetery.
Yep.
This one, in some ways, I actually thought this one was good and enjoyable. But like, what didn't speak to me was the message in some ways of, like, you know, there's this incredibly limited man. Like, I am as frustrated as his daughter is with this incredibly limited man, and I don't have.
He's set up that way, yeah.
Yeah, he's set up that way, but you know, I'm as frustrated as the daughter is, and because I am not the daughter, I don't balance that out with love for this person. I'm just like, you're an emotionally stunted human being. Like, I don't like that for you or for anyone around you.
Fair enough.
But that's me.
Yeah, I didn't have the same reaction, but then I think a number of these films clearly were directed by men, and I only realized that after talking about these films with Jennifer. Like, yes, I was not going to see this, and they have a definite, like, male gazy kind of point of view, which absolutely shows up in the next two films I want to talk about. The first one, Parallax.
Yes.
This is a very short film. It's 6 minutes with no dialogue.
No dialogue.
It is entirely told from the perspective of two people who are at the park photographing ducks. And they somehow see each other through their camera viewfinders and immediately fall in love.
That's not really it.
Maybe not.
Like, they
connect.
They see each other through the viewfinder.
Yes.
But then when they pull the cameras down, they can't see each other.
Right.
Right? So they can only see each other through the camera lens. So they start off, like, figuring this out, right? Like, oh my God, I'm seeing this person across this pond, and then when I put down the camera, I don't see anything. What in the world is going on? And then they get physically closer to each other, and they are, like, intrigued by each other.
And they discover that they can actually touch each other physically.
As long as they're both looking through the camera.
No, they can still touch each other if they're not looking through the camera, but they can't see each other. So he's groping her without being able to see her for part of that.
See, I think he's reaching for her. I don't think he's actually touching her. I think he's only touching her when he has the camera up.
Okay.
And then when they have the camera up to each, they then are sitting on a bench, like, close to each other. They each have the camera up.
Yeah.
And then they can touch each other.
Okay.
So when the person has the camera up, they can touch the other person, but the other person, I don't think, can feel it.
Yeah. So this was it's a really interesting idea for a film. It's only 6 minutes long. There's no dialogue. There wasn't a lot of development to it. Eventually another man comes along and takes her hand and walks her away, but she looks back one last time through her viewfinder to see him, the other cameraman, other photographer, and what might have been.
Yeah, it's supposed to have this feeling of two people that almost, like, meet on the subway, right? Like, you know, two people catch each other's eye on the subway. Like, could this have been a relationship? But it's not, right? And they just go on their merry way. But for me, looking at it's a male director, like, male creator, me looking at this as a woman, like, there's this woman on this bench who knows that there's a guy that she can only see through the viewfinder, and then all of a sudden the dude is literally right next to her. That's scary to me. Like, that's not automatically romance. That's like, there's a big space between we saw each other across the pond and you are 5 inches from me, mofo. Like, what? I need some space here. So that was where I was like, okay, you know. But yeah, it's a really interesting idea, and it was well done visually.
So our next film actually continues the theme of misconnection, and this is The Pickup.
Yes.
And this is about a young woman in Brooklyn who is
in
getting
Brooklyn
married.
Heights.
Yes.
Very much in Brooklyn Heights.
Literally, we used to live in the backdrop of this film. And we escaped from that world, and now we have learned to shun the ways of the Brooklyn hipster.
Sure.
Which is why this movie was so annoying. No, it was...
That was actually... I actually quite enjoyed recognizing a number of the places the movie was shot.
This is probably the most professionally made of the films we saw. It absolutely looked like something you would see, like, in a feature. in like a meet cute romantic comedy kind of feature movie. The idea is that she's getting married, and she is gone on a website that for people who are giving things away for free.
She's in a buy nothing group.
Yes, and people are just donating things for her wedding, and she's picking them up. So that's the pickup. She's wandering around Brooklyn picking up various random things from people in a big
Shopping
laundry
cart.
bag, yeah, or laundry cart, yeah. And the first man that she meets along the way turns out to be her high school crush, who is having a really bad day, and so she asks if he wants to come along with her on her pickups. Lots of musical montages, one racist car driver, and a bizarre scene where a French woman roller skates up and starts talking to him for no reason.
So he was this hot guy in high school, and she was the ugly duckling.
Yeah.
Somehow they were friends, but they never dated, and he apparently, from her perspective, he never knew that she had a crush on him.
Right.
And so she is like battling, like she knows whose house she's going to, right? Like, and is thinking that he might not recognize her because like now she's cute, like she doesn't wear glasses and stuff. So now she's cute. And then he does recognize her, right? So then she's like wrestling with these old feelings, even though she's engaged to somebody else and is going to get married in a week, and she's picking up stuff for her wedding, to decorate the venue for the wedding. So then you find out that the dude, had just been left by his fiance. Mm-hmm. And
that's why he's so miserable.
And so he's now looking at her as maybe actually what he should have recognized in high school was that he had the right person then, didn't know it, and has now lost the chance to have the right person for eternity because she's with this fiance. She talks to him on the phone. The fiance on the phone does, when she talks about him, she clearly loves him. And this French woman that he meets is this opportunity for her to be talking to her fiancé, but then also realize that she is still jealous of this dude because he's just talking to a woman that he happens to know in his neighborhood, which is not a strange thing, right? But when you look at it through jealous eyes, it's like, it's a skinny woman who's in a exercise outfit and is on rollerblades or roller skates, right? Like, so like, who's traditionally hot, right? Like, yeah.
Yep, Brooklyn. Anyway, so
this was
are these two time-tossed lovers going to find a way back to each other?
No.
Is she going to break off her wedding?
No.
So that she's actively planning so that she can get back together with her high school crush, who it turns out kind of had a crush on her, maybe? No, of course not. No, that would be like an actual movie. It
wouldn't be a very uninteresting movie.
Yeah, well.
And, I mean, this in the end wasn't wildly interesting either, but I would be actively mad if she had dumped her life for this douche.
How do we relieve the tension of this particular meet cute?
You can't.
With the help of an elderly black woman.
Well, yes. So there is one black woman in Brooklyn, and she owns a
one person over the age of 35.
That too. And she owns a brownstone and has a whole bunch of flowers, and she's giving away flowers. Now, if your wedding is in a week, you don't want anybody cutting flowers for you today and giving you the cut fucking flowers.
I also like the idea that she's going to carry enough flowers for her wedding in this little shopping cart.
Yeah.
Along with all the other things, including I think 2 yards of fabric.
Yeah, I mean, she picked up like this, whatever.
Like
it didn't make sense.
4 wine glasses.
Yeah.
So this obviously we didn't like this film very much.
Yeah.
That being said, it was very well made. The acting was the best of any of the films we saw. The writing was sharp. It was just, Brooklyn.
I feel like you are slandering Brooklyn. The problem here is not Brooklyn. The problem is like you could put this story in any place as long as people can walk to go from house to house, right? Like this isn't.
I don't know.
and there are buy nothing groups in lots of different places.
Sure.
There's buy nothing group for this neighborhood, right? Like there's buy nothing groups around the country where people drive from place to place and pick shit up. So yeah, this is a leftover love kind of story with no resolution, right? Like, you know, maybe I will look back at this moment for the rest of my life and realize this was a terrible decision. The end.
Yep. Great. So, I'm sorry. Like I say, this wasn't the best made of the films, and it was entertaining in parts. I felt like there wasn't enough there to make an entire film out of.
Yep.
So we've saved the best two films for last.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about Silver Sizzle.
Yes.
Silver Sizzle was very funny
Yes.
and really enjoyable.
Yes.
It's about an old man who's in a cemetery. A lot of cemeteries in these films.
I was struck by how many cemeteries there were in these movies.
And so this old man in the cemetery, he's visiting his wife's grave, where he is accosted by another old man who has Parkinson's disease.
Who is sitting basically like at the
Drinking
next
beer
grave.
At the next grave over.
Drinking beer with his foot up on the headstone.
And that's the grave of his wife.
Yes.
And he's basically says, "Oh, I'm glad I ran into you." They've never met before. "I'm glad I ran into you because I'm going to now teach you how to pick up women in a cemetery." And our hero, the first man, is like, that's not what I came here for today. I'm not interested. Thank you very much. Gets pulled into it anyway. Before you know it, they're on a double date, a picnic blanket in the cemetery.
With two widows.
With two widows who are totally into the idea and are very charming, and everybody has a great time.
This is all facilitated by a guy who
works at the
cemetery.
Who has like a golf cart.
Yeah.
And
that's stocked with like a picnic blanket and like beer and stuff. It's pretty funny.
And they just, it's a little meditation on how it's never too late and you should get out there and enjoy life. It's, that was a theme with Better Dead Than Living, which is also a cemetery movie, and it just was fascinating. These films had no crew in common. The directors were different. The actors were different.
The cemetery is different.
The tone were, they were both funny movies, but this one was definitely a comedy. And it was fun. It was very silly. It didn't have a lot to say beyond don't ever give up on life.
Well, it's don't ever give up on life, but also thinking about that life is hard and is finite.
Yeah.
And don't give up on it.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have all that much time left, so you might as well use it.
And, you get a pretty girl's phone number, that's a great thing.
And if that pretty girl is 65 years old, that's
she's still a pretty girl.
So, it was really fun. It was very cute. The two actors were, it turns out...
are actual,
working Hollywood actors
who've been working for years and years and years.
Yes.
70s.
Yes. They're even older than us. And but they had it. They had the timing down. They had the comedy, and it worked.
Yeah, it was really good. It was really fun.
Best film of the 7.
Yes.
And I really hope this film gets picked up for distribution, or at least the filmmakers get to do a longer version of this. It was called Old Haunts. And this is a story, there's very little exposition in the story. We start off with a woman on a road trip with her dog. It's just her and the dog in the van.
Cute little
dog called Nugget. And she's just singing. The woman is singing songs to Nugget about the fact that they're driving on a road trip. She then checks into a motel room and starts talking to somebody who's not there. And has a bad moment where she thinks, oh, maybe he's not there, but then he makes the lights flicker. And it turns out that she is traveling with the ghost of her deceased husband.
Fiancé.
Well,
they had gotten married.
They had a quickie marriage in Las Vegas, and then he almost immediately died. And so she's not able to move on. She's not able to deal with her grief. So she is traveling around the Southwest United States with this ghost and her dog. And she's running out of money. She's avoiding people who want to help her. She's
avoiding his family.
Yes.
And she's avoiding spending money that she got in a settlement.
Yeah.
So clearly whatever his death was accidental.
Was accidental and bad.
But she also feels responsible for it, so she won't spend the settlement money.
But she mostly just misses him. I think that's the deal. She can't can't
function
accept the
without him.
fact that she married this incredible man and now he's gone. So we occasionally get to see the ghost, and he's scary as hell, which was interesting.
Yeah.
And in one hotel or motel room she stops at, because there are multiple days of this road trip. She accidentally summons a demon because she's opened herself to otherworldly spirits, and so this demon.
She goes into a hotel room that already has another ghost.
Already has a demon in it. Yeah.
So I don't know that it's a demon, but it's a.
She called it a demon.
Oh yeah, but did she call it a demon because it was a demon, or did she call it a demon because it was a ghost that was trying to hurt her?
Again, there's very little exposition in this movie, which is a good thing.
There is one woman speaking through the whole thing.
Yeah, it's just her and her dog.
Yeah, there is no other dialogue.
Communicates directly with the ghost by throwing Scrabble tiles on a bed, and it forms words, but even that's pretty sparse. And most of this film is just about her holding her grief. And she plays it in this really interesting way where she's having a good time with her dog and she's going to these fun places and seeing these beautiful scenery, and it's not enough. And you can tell it's not enough, but she's refusing to even let that on. She's refusing to break down her grief because that means letting go in some way. So she's holding so tightly to this ghost that she's like pretending she's on this really fun road trip. And it's an amazing performance by the woman who wrote and directed the film. She and her actual boyfriend directed this film together. And it turns out that they were actually on an actual road trip through the Southwest.
And just the two of them shot it.
Yeah.
So they're driving around in this van with all the equipment.
And the dog.
And the dog. And shot this whole beautiful film.
Yeah.
It
really is gorgeous. In part because they had this backdrop of the American Southwest, which is.
But I think it's also
place.
the emotional part of it, is also has some beauty to it too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, all of us can understand not being able to let go of a loss.
Yeah.
And it absolutely hits on that in a really effective way.
Yep.
The special effects in the film are not that great. It's a zero budget film. We're not expecting too much of that. The writing is the sharpest of anything we saw. It is absolutely just so well written and performed.
Yeah.
I would say that the pickup looked more professional in terms of filming, but this movie was absolutely there. They had a vision for this film and they made it happen, and it absolutely works.
Yeah.
I would tell people you have to go see this film, but unfortunately, it hasn't gotten distribution yet, so who knows when that'll be. I do hope that the filmmakers go on to make more films like this. I hope they make this film bigger and with a bigger budget someday and get distribution for it so everybody can see it.
Yep.
But that's the 7 films we saw.
Yeah. It's pretty fun.
You can tell from listening to us, a lot of them were really good.
Yeah.
Really enjoyable.
Yeah.
Really well done. The Q&A was fascinating because they talked a lot about how hard it is to make these movies with no budget, and they talked a lot about, just finding actors on the subway and all kinds of things. But it's always great to hear from artists about how they make their work, because you can hear the passion come through in their voices. And a lot of that passion showed up on the screen in their films. So this was absolutely a fun night at the movies.
I'm glad we did it.
I'm really glad we did it. And we'll go back next year.
We
Unfortunately, this is the last night we can go to these films, I think.
Yeah.
Because we have other things to do.
Yep.
But we'll go back next year and we'll see more films.
Yep.
And maybe we'll make another video about those films.
Absolutely.
But until next time.
Alrighty.